All right, then here's our official good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are. We welcome you to today's Quantum Alignment Show, and we are excited to be telling you about how to become a money magnet by using your human design and really tapping deeply into that, and also understanding everything about what that means about your design and how money comes in and all these beautiful things. So what we have for you today is we're going to dive deep into the G Center. We are going to talk about what it means to be blocked with money. We're going to talk about what it means to have money come to you with ease, because I think most of us, when we're starting to dive into the human design journey, we're learning that hustling is not what we're here to do, right? And lots of us, and most of us, and at least Annalena and me, we love earning money by doing what we want. So we're going to introduce ourselves officially, and then we're going to dive right in. So, and just a little musical side note, I was listening to a lot of, on repeat, Money for Nothing by the Dire Straits this morning, which is, you know, an old song that I listen to on German radio a lot. And it's all about this, you know, those boys on MTV who just play the guitar and get like literally quote unquote money for nothing, right? But they get money for being in their power, doing what they love. And this is what this is all about, right? I don't know if I want the chicks for free, but, you know, I guess Mark Knopfler was into that. So, but this is the vibe, you know, getting the money for what you love and being open to receive it. So that's what we're going to bring to you today with lots of love. And we're going to show you at the end too, how you can dive deeper with us if you so choose that you want money in your life more now and not next year. But we'll be here no matter when, but we just got some specials for you today too. And I want to start by introducing my fabulous best friend and business partner, Annalena, who is a 2/4 manifesting generator, time bender. She does speed up our processes a lot. There may or may not be sometimes typos in the copy, which is totally fine.
Because you correct them for me.
And she's originally from Germany, from the same little town that I am from, but we only met in the US where we both live now. So Annalena is in the beautiful Florida, and right now she is on vacation in another part of Florida, chilling and relaxing. And she's a mom to a beautiful 8 she is right now, right?
Yes.
So, and she has a love in her life that human design has helped her a lot too, to work through all the things that come up once in a while in a relationship. So that's who we're working with over there today, the wonderful Annalena.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. And now I have the honor to introduce the beautiful Alex. And like Alex already said, you know, we're both from Germany, same little town. And Alex lives in beautiful California, close to San Rafael, right? Close to San Francisco. And so we are on 2 different coasts, Pacific time, Eastern time. And Alex has 2 beautiful children, a little boy and a daughter. I think they are 10 and 6, but I'm not 100 the ages. I'm not, because I never met them in person.
10 and 7.
10 and 7. You see, I almost got this. We're both actually happily divorced, right? And in a new relationships, and we constantly grow. And Alex is a beautiful 1/3 projector. And like Alex already said, right, it's a beautiful dance for both of us to, you know, love our own authenticity and keep reflecting back like how we can complement each other. It's just beautiful. So yeah, so we both speak fluently German, and we love all the German comments here. This is just awesome. And Marvin, you're from Germany too. That is so cool. And yeah, so we are just really excited to be here today. And we also both, like, we are here today because we so deeply believe, and we're doing this and we're embodying this now ourselves. Like, we can make money doing what we love, because we both used to work in corporate 9 to 5. We both got out of it, so we totally know how this is when we just, work hard and make money just to get by. That's just not the way. And human design is just so incredibly empowering. And so we want to really dive into this today, because let's be real, we all love money. We would love to have more of it so we can create more, we can enjoy life more, and give more freely as well, right? Because there's so many beautiful things that we can give money to and create more for all of us together. So this is us. And we have also some slides. We're going to keep not too many slides because we like to be in your presence as well. If you want to take notes, of course, do that, whatever feels good to you guys. But in the end, we will also, there's a little handout. Some of you have already gotten this. In the end, we'll show you again where you can get that. We're going to just in the beginning have a couple of slides, and then at the end, just so you know, because I love to inform as a manager. So yeah, let me put this up here really quick. So this is the topic today: become a money magnet with human design. And because we love money, and the love right now, it's Valentine's Day is this weekend, right? So just also keep this in mind. And everything we're going to talk about is so much about love. So we wanted to make this a special Valentine's occasion, the love about money, basically. So, okay, Alex, I'm gonna let you do the intro, and then we're gonna, keep being here. And also comments, we try to get to them as we can. We may get to them at the end. If it fits into what we're currently talking about, we'll definitely try to get to them sooner.
We're going to start by talking about the G center, which lots of you may or may not already be familiar with, that it's also our magnetic monopole. You may have it defined, you may have it undefined, you may have it completely open, so no gates at all activated in your G center. It doesn't matter. I have a defined G, and I have been so conditioned in my G center. And the most important thing is, and Annalena, maybe you can take it down again, because it kind of just makes me feel very animated when I just look at a screen. So you just know it's that yellow diamond or white diamond in the center of your chest, also known as the identity center, also known as the G center, the magnetic monopole. So that is really from where we attract into our lives what is happening, not what we want, because that's not always the vibe that is happening in the G center, but what the vibe that the G center has. And of course, conditioning plays a major role in there. When we think about the human design chart or anything in life, no matter what the personal development journey is, right? The goal, the point on the map that we all want to get to, and where we're probably the top of the mountain that we'll never reach, is always like, what is our highest expression? What is our highest self? What is our highest empowerment, right? And so all the energies, and just like in the whole chart, but now let's talk about the G center. All the energies in the G center are in low expression or in mastery and high expression, right? And we all get glimpses of our high expressions at one point in our life, when things go easily, when things have gone easily, when maybe in the past we accidentally lived our strategy and authority and we didn't know why things were going so well. And then other people come along and tell us again how we should do it, and society tells us how things should be done, and we're like, oh, okay, we'll do that. And then we hustle again, we get burned out, and we drop back down into that should and have to and that lower expression. And we're just so conditioned, it's not just like by our upbringing and our childhood, but it's also very much by society. Where do we grow up? What is our culture like? And Annalena and I are very familiar with how that was growing up in Germany, around the rigidness of working hard and all of that. And wherever you're from, whatever country you grew up in, just being aware that there is a certain vibe that goes with that also conditions us. And then genetics, epigenetics especially, they have a big effect on our conditioning as well. So even though in our conscious mind, which is only 5% of our entire mind, we try to think like, yes, we're worthy, yes, we are not afraid, and we love ourselves so deeply. 95% of our mind, which is the subconscious, actually might believe that that is not true. And that is the vibe of the G center. And when we have so much in our G center, in our identity, that where we don't actually believe that we're worthy of receiving money for nothing, like the dire straits say, or quote unquote nothing, which is, you know, when we do the work we love, it just feels like we're not working, right? And there's this big deserving block in between, right? So I'm a projector, so working 9 to 5 never really felt right to me, but I felt always really, really wrong for not wanting that, right? And for just wanting to bring my magic to the world, even though at the time I didn't know what that was. So the other thing about money and the G center, and you know, you may or may not know this, but the G center and the will center together are the heart chakra. And we're focusing here on the G center only. But when we talk about the chakra systems, the heart chakra, but also the G center, you know, that location, that feeling, that space in our body just needs to be so open to receiving. And we can check that, like if we can receive and give love, right? And that's why love and Valentine's Day and money, they go so well together, because it's all one, right? So many of us have been hurt in our lives. So many of us have shielded our hearts, you know, and if you've ever done a heart wall meditation or a heart wall removal, then you know, or if you know, like, you're having trouble sometimes, like feeling compassionate or understanding or giving love freely, giving love unconditionally, or receiving love unconditionally, then you might know if there's a block or not. And that is so important, to open those receiving channels, not just for love, but also money comes in through that same channel. So I'm going to hand over now to Annalena, who's going to go deeper into this.
Yeah. Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah. So this is a big thing, right? Often, like, we have all this magic here in our G center, and we have put this big wall around us, right? Because so often, like, we want to protect us from getting hurt more and more, right? And so we can't actually, like, oftentimes the love is right in front of us, and we're doing everything we can, actually subconsciously, oftentimes, by pushing it away, right? Because what we really believe in the essence on a subconscious level, what Alex was talking about, is this 95 to 99% of us. This is what we will experience in life. So if we deep inside, like, we may think, yeah, I love myself, I'm open to receive love, but if subconsciously it's like, well, that's BS, that's not true, right? Like, that's the case, then what you will experience in your relationships and all of that in your life, and also with money, of course, it will reflect it. So look at your situation, like right now, and this is not from a judgment place. This is just like, we have to be real where we're at, right? Like, how does it look like right now in your life? How are your relationships? How is your money situation, right? And it's just like, if it's not the way you like it to be, it's like, okay, interesting. I guess, I'm at the right place here today, because we want to help you take this wall down so that you can actually start to receive, right? Receive the love, receive the abundance, receive the money, and all of this. And there's one way that we can easily check in with us if we're really open to receive or not. And this is like when it comes to compliments, right? So, and gate 2 is this gate. It's all about allowing, right? It's this energy of allowing, support, and all of this into our lives. So I'm going to ask you right now, and really take a few moments to reflect on it. And I would love to hear from you in the comments what your response is. So how do you receive compliments, right? If somebody tells you, like, oh my God, you just look amazing today, you're so beautiful, right? Or, oh my God, this new dress you're wearing is amazing, or this new hat that you're wearing is amazing, whatever this is, right? How does it feel? Even close your eyes and, like, how does it feel in your body? Does it feel expansive? You're really taking it in. You can just absorb it and, like, heck yeah, I'm beautiful. Heck yeah, I'm gorgeous, right? Or is it kind of like, oh, makes you a little bit uncomfortable, right? Can you accept it with joy? Some of you may be able to do that, right? But so often, like this was for me a while ago, you know, that when I received a compliment, I had this feeling of I have to justify myself. I could not totally take it in. There was something inside of me, like kind of like cringing up, and you know, like I didn't know why. Do I want to receive the compliment, or it's my partner and tells me how amazing and beautiful I am, right? Like the beginning, it made me like blush, and I didn't really like believe it. That's what's really was happening. So just looking at the comments, I say, oh really, but I don't cringe. I say thank you. Usually I receive the compliments. I feel like getting a drink of water when I'm very, very thirsty. I can't really hear and receive compliments. I hear them, but can't really take them in. I tend to view compliments with distrust, right? And this is just, and thank you for sharing this, and here feeling a little bit uncomfortable. And Amanda is saying, I could never take it in before, but after doing deep healing work the past 2 years, I now can take it in and feel it. Exactly, right? And this is, of course, in the end, right, Alex, we already shared. We're going to show you how we can go deeper with us. This is what we do, right? We do this deep work where we just release all these feeling blocks, where we just can't fully let it in, right? Where we're like, yeah, consciously we want to receive it, but we're not doing it. We're blocking it because it doesn't, we don't have the feeling yet. And you may also know this from the law of attraction, and what Alex was talking a little bit about, you know, the G center is also called the magnetic monopole. It's like, it's not always like what we just think is what will happen or what will be reflected in our life. It's all about how we really feel. So we can say, oh, I love myself, I receive, and all of that stuff. But if we don't feel it, then that will not happen, right? We always will attract what we actually feel. So again, if it's right now for you more uncomfortable, you can't fully receive it, that's not a bad thing. At least you now have the awareness, right? You have the awareness of where you're at. So that's always the first step when we want to make a change, right? And the other thing is always, oftentimes when we are not fully allowing ourselves to receive, is like also with support, like where in our life do we let support in, right? Because oftentimes there are so many things where support is coming into our lives. And I actually recently, I had an appendix surgery, and that was for me a great time to actually dive into allowing support into my life, because I was so appreciative of the doctors, the nurses, my family, everybody in my deep surroundings, like Alex. Like I was showered with love and support. And oh boy, like 2 years ago, I would have probably felt really uncomfortable. And now I could fully let it in. And oftentimes when we don't let support in, like, be kind of aware of like, why are you trying to control things? We're trying to micromanage things, right? Because that's always a deep sign of us not trusting, right? And that's also one of the energies of the gates in the G centers, like where we don't have the faith and the trust, where we feel like, no, we need to be in control because we're not fully trusting that we have the support that's coming into our life. Alex, now I'm gonna hand it back to you, right? That's one of your you like to further dive into the support part, right?
Oh man.
Oh man, exactly, man.
I did this one so hard, didn't I? And it's a perfect segue that you're doing that too with the control, you know. It's like, how many people do we do readings with, you know, and then we're like, okay, yeah, there's an energy where, you know, there's an energy in your chart where it's like, yeah, you have the tendency to control things, but also just this deep mistrust, you know, in being supported, like Annalena said. Where are you a control freak? Like, what in your life are you refusing to hand off or getting like support in? And you know, if you're a woman, sometimes even worse, because we want to prove it so badly, right? And then maybe we have the open will center too, where we're like extra having to prove ourselves. And then society shows us, yeah, as women we need to do it all, you know. We need to raise the kids, we need to have the household under control, do the laundry, do the dishes, and now be a successful businesswoman, right? And it's just sometimes so hard to let go of any control. So we just feel like, A, we don't want to hand off any of that control, because subconsciously we still might believe that we might have to have it all together in order to be worthy. That's a deep wound of from way early in our lives, or maybe even from past lives, that we're not worthy just for being, but even maybe I had a reading yesterday with a whole family, or for a whole family, where the girl is going through deep wounding because the father he means well, none of us parents do any of this shit, excuse my French, Annalena's eyes, because we mean bad. It's just we want to pass on what kind of worked for us, but the father, letting this girl energetically and also with words know that if she's not doing the right things, she's not really worth much, right? And not even that he doesn't love her, but there's this deep sense of like, if you're not good in school, you're not going to be worth much. Or another reading I had yesterday too, with a grown-up woman who said, these words from my dad are still in my ears a lot of the time, when he said, you're just never going to be worth anything. My mom used to hear this from her dad, and my mom is 77 now, so that was a long time ago. And obviously, after World War mindset and whatnot, but my grandpa said to my mom a lot of the times, you're never going to amount to nothing. You're too stupid. You're going to be pregnant by 16 because you're too stupid, right? So all of us women, I'm not saying you men can't, right? But there's just another level of wounding in us women, for where we feel like, oh, if we don't work hard, we are not worth a thing, right? So now we get back to Mark Knopfler in the Dire Straits singing so confidently, like money for nothing and the chicks for free, right? Okay. When I first started riding my horses more days a week than I thought was okay, I was sitting in that car driving to the barns like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And my ex-husband was like, no, you go do that. That's totally fine. But inside of me, that I had to like really work through them. It almost gave me anxiety that I was allowed and okay to be doing what I really wanted to be doing 3 days a week. That was crazy. But now we understand where this is all coming from. So going back to the control, like, are you a control freak? Is that what people would say about you? Is that what you would say about you? That's another area to check yourself, where you're not giving up, surrendering to support, right? And then the other thing that I'm so passionate talking about, just because I worked through that so deeply last year myself, is that it's important to understand that money is a masculine energy, and money is support, right? Money allows us to, money is a structure, right? If we have money in our backs, on our bank accounts, we're like, we can breathe, we're supported, we can pay the bills with ease, we can go on vacation, we can buy our kids whatever we want, we could even like buy ourselves whatever we want, right? We can invest in things that support other people that we really believe in, right? And when it's not there, there's a big piece of support, aka masculine energy, missing in our lives. And as some of you were mentioning in the comments, when you receive compliments, right, there's a mistrust, there's a distrust, right? And there's this deep, deep level of mistrust for the masculine that a lot of us carry, especially when we have daddy issues. And that's so much what I have worked through so much this past year especially, but also the years before already. But last year, I think it really came to the tornado that finally spun me out of it. Understanding how much mistrust I have for the masculine, because my dad never showed up. He was loving and everything, but he didn't support me or my mom financially. He didn't support me or my mom with like hands-on childcare work. There was just like this deep, deep mistrust that I carried, even though now I love my father and I thought we had mended all our things. I've always loved him, but I was like, yeah, I understand what kind of a guy he is. He's also a projector, just didn't want to work, was all too much for him, right? But deep, deep inside, much, much deeper than I could guess or see. And only my life circumstances and the money not wanting to come through me and flow to me, that was the proof for me that I still had this deep, deep mistrust in the masculine, in the support. And that is something that I healed also on such a deep level. And that is one of the biggest missing pieces that I had, because I had all the certifications, I had all the knowledge. I'm a 1 line, right? So I know everything basically. I'm a 3 line, so I've gone through everything. So I was like, so ready to serve. I've got so much to give. Why is this not happening? And then this missing piece came in. It's like, oh, if I mistrust money, and Annalena and I like to think about money as an energy with its conscience, right? And we speak about money like, I want you in my life. But then deep in our 95% pool of the subconscious, we don't trust the masculine. Then mixed messages, right? Then money is like, okay, you want me, but you don't trust me. So how are we going to do that, right? You got to make your mind up first. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. And
yeah.
And Annalena and Alex,
yes,
can I just, there's some people that have joined late, and I noticed a question in the in Facebook that when you were talking about control, and that where is it located in the human design chart? This is probably for people that didn't see the very beginning as they were joining in later.
Thank you. Yeah, the G center.
Yeah. I think we spoke about specifically the gate 1 and 2, right? Gate 1 is all about giving. It's our purpose, what we're here in the world. And then we have gate 2 on the opposite going down, which is all about allowing. And so often, like I was talking about, where you're not allowing yourself to receive. And we talked about to check in with yourself if you can receive a compliment. So if we can fully receive a compliment, like on a cellular level, where you just can take it in and feel it, and yeah, gosh, I'm beautiful. For example, when somebody tells me that, that oftentimes means also then in life, when we have a block there to receive, that we tend to be in other areas very much like we don't receive the support in that actually wants to come in, because it's the balance between the two, right? The giving and the receiving, and also for us to give and receive, and from others that want to give us to allow for us into in our lives. And that's where we often like get into like when we're really control freaks and trying to micromanage things, is like we don't trust. So that would be the faith gate, right? Is that 25? Is that correct? I think so. Where we're not fully trusting, right? So we feel like we need to be in control of it. Another gate that comes to my mind, which is not that's a spleen gate, is gate 50, is the gate of nurturing. There's also like, I have, that's a life theme in my life, where we can be nurturing and giving to others, but we're not fully taking care of ourselves, right? This is also where a little bit of that can come in. And I'm sure there are many, many other energies also in the chart as well.
There was an interesting comment on Facebook from Michael. Lack of trust in my female partners even stopped the masculine in me, and I'm a man. Now, so it's now that I am with Christy King, whom I can trust, my creativity is overflowing. Kind of goes with the story that you shared, right, Alexandra?
Well, I'm happy to hear male perspectives on this too. It's very valuable, and there's a lot of this, oh, we women need to stick together, and there's so much to sacred sisterhood, and we love it too, and there's so much healing that needs to be done amongst women too, but there's so much healing where the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine can support one another too, and working together on that level of empowering one another through love and understanding and compassion, that we are different and we have different experiences, and that every human is different, right? But just it's so important to get all of the perspectives, and it's beautiful that Michael shared this. So if there's any other men who feel called now or later on the replay to share, we'd love to hear.
Yeah, I think that is beautiful, because really, like, we're all in this together, and we women and men, we all need each other, right? And a lot of what Alex and I do in our work, it's all about finding your unique flow between the feminine and the masculine. This is a little bit gate 15, which is all about compassion, also one of the G center gates, right? But we find our own rhythms and patterns, and because it is this dance, especially for our strategies, right, where we get into this place of surrender and trusting, and so we can actually see where we get something to respond to, or we can be recognized as a projector and invited into something, right? When we're just in the constant push masculine go do it energy, right? We don't see what life gives us to respond to. We don't take fully good care of ourselves. We don't get the invitations that actually could come our way, right? And it's all about, but then we can also fall into this like, oh, just being in the flow and completely being in the feminine and not taking any action. That ain't work either, right? So it's all about finding your unique dance between the feminine flow energy and the masculine, you know, like go do it energy. But we need it both, and it's going to be different for me, for Alex, for all of us in a little bit, right? There is no one way how we do this. And what, and now going back a little bit to money, and I think Pooja, I hope I say your name correct, right? Because you're saying like you kind of hit rock bottom of the relationship, and that's also being reflected in your money story, right? And you know what? Exactly, Alex and I, we have been there, right? Like when the more we struggle in our relationships, the more it's also going to be reflected in money. And all this work, right, with a G center, that will help us so much with our relationship, like really all areas in our life. And oftentimes, yeah, money is then the last thing, because money is such a great teacher. I mean, money in itself, imagine money as a relationship, right? And one thing that money loves, just like when you're in a relationship, is your freaking, now excuse my words, is your authentic self, right? Like we are all unique. We have our special gifts and talents, and it's like, I love how Karen always says this, and I always use this, Karen. It's like the world is this big puzzle piece, and if everybody would be the same, like the puzzle wouldn't exist, right? We couldn't put it together. But we have created this big powerful puzzle, the big whole wide world, all the humans on planet Earth, through us being our unique authentic self, right? And the more you can be your unique authentic self, and of course this is a lot of deconditioning that needs to happen oftentimes, right? Where we get to release all these limitations, these deep-rooted codings and beliefs about not being good enough, not feeling worthy, all of this. And this is all, right, like our identity, lovability, that's all in the G center, right? That's why we feel like the G center is, I mean, they're all so important, right? All the centers are so important, right? But like if we don't decondition this big wall that we put around our heart, oftentimes, like this lovability where we block because we don't want to get hurt more, it gets so much harder, right? And so the more you can tap into your authentic self, right, the more money will be, oh yeah, I want to be with her or him, right? Like you being you. And of course, this requires us to let go of a lot of this people pleasing tendencies. Like I am a recovering people pleaser.
Alexandra, we may have lost Annalena for a minute.
Oh no, I know she's on a vacation Wi-Fi.
Right.
So yeah, I can take over from here. But
okay.
Oh, are you still here, Annalena? Oh yeah, no. So yeah, the people pleasing that she was talking about is very much.
I have to fix my.
All right, fix your internet in Mercury retrograde. But yeah, the people pleasing, and people pleasing is such a deep sign of not being confident, right? And like Annalena said, money wants your authenticity, money wants your confidence, and money wants you to stand in your power. Like everything in our life wants us to do that. Our children want that from us too, right? Our children don't want us to see us suffering. And Annalena is back, so I'm going to have her pick up where she left off.
Yes. Yeah, I know my internet dropped a little bit, but yeah, what I was like, it's really like this being our authentic self, and this is really what human design is all about, right? It's like about you being your authentic self, and so often all these limitations we bring with us, these beliefs we're not good enough, or we should be a certain way, right? Alex mentioned this earlier, like working a 9 to 5 never felt right to her, even to me as a manager, and it never felt right to me. And it was more about the work that I was doing, because I just knew like it's like my multi-passions I was not able to live them out there at all, right? And I knew I have more to give to the world. But we carry those beliefs, like we're supposed to go to college, we're supposed to get a secure job. But I learned them really quickly that having a job, especially here in America, that's not secure at all, right? And when we first became entrepreneurs, like several years ago, it was for me, I was scared, right? Because, oh, I don't have the safe paycheck anymore. But then last year, when all the quarantine happened and all these things, I was like, wow, I have so much more security now because I have built this up. I don't rely on a company that now all of a sudden can't pay me anymore, right? It's just like, because I followed this, like what my heart, what my identity was calling for, what is my authentic self. And it's being an entrepreneur, going out and helping people be their authentic self so they can attract more love, abundance, and all the good things into their lives, right? So this is just, of course, we can go into this so deep because, yeah, being your authentic self is just not something that happens like that, right? But this, in the essence, the more you are your authentic self, the more money is attracted to you, right? And then the other thing, which is also really, really important for us just to be aware of right now, right? It's like, I think Alex touched upon it really quickly earlier, is like, what is the message that you are sending to the universe about money, right? And what I mean with that is, are you sending a clear message about money? Like, do you really love money? You say you want to make a lot of money. Does it feel right to you? And you keep saying it to your business partner, to your family, to everybody. Like, is this the same clear message? Or is it maybe like, let's say, your coach like us and in your money mastermind or in your mastermind, you talk about all your big money goals, what you want, but then when you're around your family, you may be kind of not talking about the money that you really desire because you may be afraid of being judged or something like that, right? Because, and this is just one example, there can be so many different scenarios, but for money, it's like, oh, well, here she's saying she wants to make a lot of money, here's kind of not, so I'm confused, right? So it's really about, do we have a clear message? And even like in the beginning, when you have a clear message, it may feel really uncomfortable at first. Like, how does it feel to you to say like, yeah, I want to make $1 million this year, right? Does it feel good? Or is everything inside cringing inside of you and you're like, oh, I can't say that, right? And I mean, the way that I grew up in my family, it was like, you have to work hard to make money. People that have a lot of money, they're kind of snobs, or money doesn't grow on trees, or people that have a lot of money are bad people, or they never work for it. I mean, there's so many, like, these are all the stories we tell us and we have started to believe because we grew up with them. And for you to really put yourself in this money receiving mode, and it's also this receiving and giving, right? Because we can receive and then we can also be scared, oh, now I need to hold on to it because I don't trust again that it's coming back. So it's really like getting into the full cycle of receiving it and trusting as we keep giving it out into the world, that we actually trust that money is unlimited and there's enough for everybody. And like, when I make money, that doesn't mean I'm taking money away from somebody, right? Because still in this world, we have a big belief of like, there's a limited amount of money. But look at the government, they keep printing money, and cryptocurrency is just, that money is literally unlimited. We all can be millionaires, for example. We all can, right? But we have this like, oh, they have more and now the other ones don't have enough. And even like really, really rich people still have this, I believe today. They are scared that everybody else makes more money. They don't have that for themselves anymore. But that's not the way money works. Money is energy. It's like air. There's no limit of that, right? So these are kind of the two things, right? Like tapping to your authentic self, and then like, what is the message that you are actually sending out to the universe about money? Is it like a clear message, what you really want? Or is it kind of like based on our fears and, deep limiting beliefs that we are kind of very repelling the energy of money by how we speak and talk about it and feel?
Yeah. So, it's beautiful. And yeah, and still have this in my DNA. I mean, that's just the next piece of it, Epigenetics is a big piece, right? So the little proteins that sit on top of your genes, and really determine how your genes express, right? That's why a lot of people who come from in war, they've researched this a lot in countries where there were how do you call these, civil wars and stuff, that up to 3 generations afterwards, the kids still had just PTSD, like as if they were in the war themselves, because of the epigenetic piece. So if our grandparents have always been tight and scared, and my grandparents were in the war, so it's like, yeah, there's probably a lot that each of us carry, just like epigenetically even, right? But the other example I really wanted to share real quick is where I had a deeper level of awareness for myself too, and where you can look in your life, like what about the little things in life where you think they are, that things are going to run out, right? So for example, I told my housekeeper that she could take some eggs from our chickens, but our chickens are not laying very well yet because it's still winter. So I only had like 11 or so eggs in the basket. And then I saw she took some because, I told her a few weeks ago she could, but then I had more a few weeks ago. And then now I only had 11 and she took 4 or 5. And all of a sudden it looked like there were only a few eggs in there. I was like, oh my God, now I don't have eggs anymore. And it's like, whoa, my God, this is another deeper level of where I'm not, where we have to like deeper and deeper always become aware of all these little corners in our life where we think that someone took something from us, or we gave something to someone, and now we're less off than before. And I thought, no, I feed my chickens every day. They're gonna lay way more and more eggs. What am I thinking? This is like old money thinking again. Like, get that out of here, And the other thing that Annalena said too is like, yeah, like a good thing where you can check. Not only are you sending a consistent message to money, like, for example, one of my private clients, she came to me and she has the money channel. She's like, I have the money channel, but I can't make money. So help me make money, like show me where. And so she's like, I want to make money so badly, right? But then we go deeper into it in our weekly sessions, and she has all these things, like she doesn't want to have money because her mom has money and she doesn't like her mom, right? She doesn't want to have money because she feels like then she's a snob, and the people who she wants to serve are not going to value her because, but it's all like, that's all your own thinking, right? So when we think about also like where in our lives, when we talk about authenticity, and having the same consistent message in our lives, right? And it comes down even to little things like in the past where I could have thought, oh my God, we're going on a quantum alignment show with Karen Curry Parker. I have to wear a blouse and I cannot show my tattoo, right? But that's not, and I cannot say shit, and I cannot be goofy and make my silly jokes like I always do, right? That's because I feel like my authentic self isn't valued, right? And I have to put on a show or a mask, or can't be myself in some areas of life, right? I saw a nice saying yesterday, maybe you're on here, James, you posted it in your stories. It was something along the lines of, be yourself, the world will adjust, right? And that is like one thing that we really have to get over when we start becoming more of our authentic self and showing more of our true like spunk and goofiness, people might be like judging us for a minute, and we're really judging ourselves, and we have to get rid of that one, right? And okay, the next thing is, yeah, we have to have that inner deep knowing that no matter if people judge us, we're just understanding that when we are being judged, that is just other people judging themselves, but they don't know it yet. So there's just confidence is just this other big piece, authenticity and confidence, that money really, really wants from us, because when we're confident and authentic, then we vibe out power. Even we could say the same things, but it's a different vibration, and that's what matters, right? And that's when we go into, I wanted to let you know real quick, and some of you may have watched our our 3-part deconditioning one-on-one workshop, 101, not one-on-one. And we have it as a replay on our Deconditioning Academy website too, if you want to check it out. We'll go much deeper into this, but the back-end manifesting. And that is really, you know, to understand that how our coding affects our emotions and our subconscious. And we're constantly back-end manifesting mostly the shit that we don't want with the 95% of our subconscious, because that creates emotions, and sometimes even very subtle, you know, we're just slightly off, or we have just slight judgmental flavors of thoughts that we carry around. And those thoughts then, you know, create emotions and thoughts and words. And then suddenly, you know, we said it again, you know, we said that mean thing again that we wanted to not say anymore. So because the subconscious is so powerful, because it's 95% of us. And in the past, when I've had, and sometimes sadly and or gladly this still happens, I have big emotional breakthroughs, let's call them, for not wanting to go negative here, but sometimes it feels like I'm taken over because my subconscious is so strong, right? And I just really have to surrender and let it flow and go with it. But understanding that our subconscious can sometimes really do what it wants, and it actually does all the time. So it's all about not doing the 5%. And this is why so many people who have been doing mindset work, you know, or reading the books on doing the intellectual and the learning and looking which chart, which gate, which channel, which center, they're still operating in the 5% of our brain. And if we want to change our life with just the 5% that we actively use, then we have a very small chance, and it takes a very long time. And that's why Annalena and I, in the work that we do, we work to clear out that big piece of 95% that really has the power to make us write that text message that the 5% in our brains like, don't do it anymore, please don't send, don't type. And your thumbs are just going, and then you go, send, show that bugger. And then we're like, okay, did it again. And then we create the same patterns in our relationships. We create the same problems in our, you know, communication with potential clients, or whatever it may be, how we show up in the world, right? So it's all about understanding that we're constantly back and manifesting with the dirty bucket of 95%. And the more we do that, then where it looks in the chart, we get from the lower expression or the unbalanced expression to live more consistently in the mastery, in the high expression. And that doesn't mean we can't ever fall down. We're human, it happens. We're not Buddha, we're not, most likely, I wish that for you and for all of us, that we are going to live 100% in the mastery and high expression of our charts and our genius. But most likely we are going to just be there more of the time. And that is already a beautiful, that's already a beautiful goal and a beautiful place to be. And where Annalena and I are experiencing that our lives are finally a lot more of what we want them to be. And who knows how they can look in a year or two, maybe dreams that we couldn't even have dreamt of. But even right now, it's like, okay, that clearing out really works. So I see some of you are asking, and we also want to maybe leave a couple minutes for Q&A. Some of you are asking how to clean up that 95%. So Annalena and I are very proud parents of something that we haven't seen before. And Annalena and I are, you know, our thing is deconditioning, very deep subconscious deconditioning. And we combine that with our human design training, wisdom, knowledge, and everything that we bring in this world. And we have created something so amazing that is called the Gateway, where we decondition every gate in the chart so that you can live out the highest expression of your chart. And we launched it a little over a month ago. And so far in the Gateway, we have the G Center. So the people who are in there with us already, they're like really deep in the G Center, in the deconditioning already, and it's magical to see their transformations in there already. Next week, we're going to launch the sacral, which is yet another piece of speaking what you want, you know, and really like so many of us having blocks in like even asking for what we want, right? So that's the next big piece. And then we're going to go center by center. It's a beautiful journey. It'll be a few months with us, and we have weekly Q&As. And if you have downloaded that money activation workbook that we emailed out, or that Cindy or Karen emailed out, there's all the links in there. We also have a special discount code for just everyone in Karen's world, where you get 20% off of all of what we do this month. You will find it in there. We can maybe put it in the Facebook comments later too, or you look at that email again. And if you're not sure you want to go that deep and decondition your entire chart, even though that will be definitely up-leveling your life like nobody's business. But we also have just the G Center separately, the G Center gateway. So that is a self-study that is also on 20% off for everyone in Karen's world for the entire month of February. And then Annalena and I are also happy to give you 20% off of our readings and packages that we're offering. So we're very excited to offer that to you, and it's really up to you to see when you want to have more money in your life, when you want to start that process, because it's not going to be from today to tomorrow, right? We all know that things require a little bit of effort and time. And so the sooner you want to activate more money in your life, the sooner you might want to start, but it's entirely up to you. But if you're ready, that's why we have for the entire month of February this 20% off for you.
Thank you, Alex. And I'm gonna also go a little bit. So first of all, so many of you guys have already, you beautiful humans have already signed up for the workbook we have. We have some powerful questions in there. Some of them we already went through today, but we really invite you to do them. And you can start, the link is here also, deconditioningacademy.com/money-activation-workbook. That's where you can get that. And to make sure that you receive it, our email is info@deconditioningacademy.com. So if you want to whitelist that, then just to make sure that you receive it. And a bunch of you have asked regarding, so the gateway, right? This is for also the G Center. That is just, you know, if you want to just try it out, just do the G Center first. You can always also then upgrade to the full gateway. Like you said, I mean, the gateway is, we're going to go through all the centers, all the gates. And it doesn't matter if you have it defined or undefined, because we can get conditioned anywhere, right? And like when Alex and I, we always say human design found us. It wasn't that long ago, actually. It was like May or something last year, right? And for us, we were like so surprised because we were able to dive into our human design so fast. We were like, wow. And we heard about this. It takes 7 years. And I was like, my sacral didn't respond to that at all. I was like, this is interesting. I think the work we have been doing before, there was a reason why we did that before, and then human design found us. So now we can bring our work to you guys, and we, you know, help you decondition that in a very fast way. Like Alex said, I mean, I'm a time bender, right? I'm not here to wait 7 years to get myself deconditioned. I like to do it fast. And we also, one of the things is like, it's this deep work we do, right? We actually make it fun, because sometimes we can also get stuck in the deep work and never get out of it. So we really help you to release the lower conditioning of the chart, the gates and the channels, and the centers and the gates, and then so that you can tap into, also start to really, you know, into the highest expression of the gates, and, you know, start to take aligned action. This is important. And, you know, we like to have this program or bring this to you guys because you're going to get so much support there and accountability, right? Because we know how the subconscious work, right? Like once we make some shifts and we release some of this old coding, and also like oftentimes there are other modalities like heart wall removal that make feel us better in the moment, but we have to keep taking consistent action, right? And our subconscious, because the main function of our subconscious is to keep us safe, will always keep us in our old behavior and stories, because even though it was maybe a bit of a struggle or not how we want to live life. It knows that we survived, and it wants to always keep us there, right? That's why, I mean, we believe in the power of support and accountability. And I mean, this group is amazing. We already have a lot of beautiful souls in there, have been making amazing progress. And in the handout that you can download that I showed you earlier, and you should all have this anyways in the emails that I think Cindy sent them out earlier, and we'll do again after. There you can actually click on the links, right? So you don't have to write it down, but you can click on it. It will take you right to the website. And for the group programs, you can enter the code. It's good until the end of the month. It will automatically apply it. If you want to have the coupon code applied for our personal like readings and human design packages, then you would have to individually contact us so we can send you a customized invoice for that. And also in the handbook, you will see how you can reach out to us. Where can you find us on social media? We are both, I think, well, we also joined Clubhouse recently. That's a new thing, right? But on Facebook, Instagram, our website, and our email. So just so you know how to, you know, you can reach out to us. Yeah.
I just wanted to address one quick question too that Lila asked on Facebook about what if I don't have the money channel and am I not meant to make money? I think, for example, Bruce Springsteen doesn't have any of the you know, quote unquote money gates or channels, and he's taken care of, right? So everyone in our authenticity and power can make money with ease, right? And it's not that we don't have the channel. We all have all of the chart. It's just when it's when we have it defined, we have consistent access to that energy. When we don't have it defined, we have to gain the wisdom to see how it works. And the other thing that we wanted to share real quick is that if you decide to sign up, so later this month, we haven't found a date yet, but probably in a couple of weeks, Anna Elena and I are going to do a big energetic and spiritual cleaning too of all money blocks, which is also great to make even more space. So if you're signing up for any of our group programs by next week, Wednesday, then you're going to get that as a bonus as well, that huge energetic money block clearing and money activation. So that is all only specials to people in Karen's world, but also feel free to forward it to friends. You know, it's not like it's not like, we don't have enough, because that's not exactly what we're about. So share. It's all for the month of February. You can also connect with us on Instagram and Facebook, find us anywhere, message us, ask us questions.
I think Adrienne or Amanda, the Gateway program, how often do you add new content? Is it live or just recorded? So we have the main content is recorded, so you can always go back to and go through the gates and the center and all of this stuff. But we have this is for the full Gateway program, right? If you sign up for all centers, once a week we have a live Q&A. So any questions you have, we answer them on the live call. So that's a huge plus there. That is not included in just the G Center alone. So that's in the full Gateway. And right now it's like about, so we released the G Center on the 21st of January. On February the 22nd, the sequel is going to come out. So you have about a month for each center. It may be that there are some centers like the head center, for example, doesn't have as many gates, right? So that may then come out after 2 weeks. So my guess is like it will be spread out over 6-7 months until everything is completely released in there. Yeah, so that's basically how it is. And it has been, because we also want to give people time, you know, to really go into this. This is not something, you know, we want to rush. And also it gives us this opportunity to really massage the subconscious, to get rid of the old and safely tap into the new.
Thank you for having us, Karen and Cindy and everyone who was here and everyone watching later. We love you. Message us with questions if you have any. And yeah, that's it, I think.
Yeah, thank you so much. We love you and see you soon.